we'll let you go. At 4:41.
Should be enough space for the show today.
Thank you, really appreciate it. Larama, everybody okay in Texas? Your side?
So far, so good.
I would ordinarily,
We've got relatives, but they're in Dallas. They're pretty much untouched. Now, do you want to talk politics at all? Oh, really?
Probably the last minute of that
Because
spotlight.
I know that.
Perhaps.
Did you see last night on Carl? Joe Piscopo was on there. So you've heard that the mayor in North is thinking about taking down the Columbus statue. Right? So Joe Piscopo came on there. He's Italian, and he said, "My grandparents, they fought hard. They worked so hard all their lives, and it's a disgrace." So he's coming out. He's all about it.
Not taking it down.
Yeah, not taking it down.
Maybe if working person's home, I'll listen to Joe as well.
And then Kathy Griffin, of course, now she's not sorry. You heard that. And
Took back her apology.
Yeah, she did.
I'm not sorry.
She told the reporter too.
She was never sorry from the beginning.
She never was. She didn't mean anything. And then Jerry Lewis died. Dick Gregory died, and then Shelley Berman just died. Those are old guys I know. I was going to say, you don't even know who that is, do you?
I know Dick Gregory and I know, of course, Lewis.
Shelley Berman wasn't that big, but he's like an older stand-up comedian that he did stuff.
Female or male?
Male. And then, of course, we could talk about East Texas. And we got a little surprise for you coming in. Do you know, are you aware of who Ruben Obed is? Ruben Obed Mejor? He's this guy we kind of found out about. He's in Puerto Rico. And he's a strong conservative, and he writes songs. In fact, he wrote this song called "This Latino's Gonna Vote for Trump." I have it on my ringtone. So he just wrote a song, and it's about East Texas. So in the beginning, we're going to come in with that after our intro. And then we're just going to talk a few things and bring you right in. It's all good. Is there anything special you want to talk about? Of course, we have the show.
Just hang out and talk. Try to be funny.
There you go. We like funny.
How have the shows been going?
Great, great. Almost sold out. All of them almost sold out.
That's good for summer, because summer is tough right now.
I think tonight's first show might be very, very close.
Talking the economy and their
It's a big room, too.
suggesting Americans are working more.
We got them good on
Oh, let's tell them about the cocotazos too. Do you know what a cocotazo is? This is a Puerto Rican thing. So I can
Okay, back.
Oh, the cocotazo. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
The
Yeah.
slipper across the room.
Yeah, the chancla.
Well, we have some nominees. One is that cop that handcuffed the nurse. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened to that.
There's an accident.
She didn't want to give draw the blood because the guy was unconscious.
In Washington this
And
Tuesday,
he said, "No, you got to draw the blood. We need it for evidence." And she said, "No," so he can't handcuff her and took her. Put her to
I mean, he dragged her out of there. Then we have the clown woman that criticized Melania. You saw that lady's face. She criticized Melania for wearing high heels. She looks like a
Yeah,
clown.
everybody's been.
And she has a
That stuff
sound
that's crazy.
And then the
go ahead,
CNN
put it in
fake
the
news,
manual.
the guy reporter that tried to stage it like he was
Go
staging
ahead
somebody in
and hit
Texas.
the podcast.
They show him in
Yep.
one frame he's got
Yep.
shorts, the next one he has pants. So he's totally staged. I mean, that's the
All
good
right,
one.
we're straight there.
And the other one, but we're
Good
not,
to go
George doesn't
there.
want to talk about it because it's too gross. There was a guy, and they caught him, and he had money hidden up his butt, and he had like $1,000 they pulled out.
That's too
$1,000 bucks. George doesn't want to talk about it, but we do have it up on our Facebook page.
Man, that's really gnarly if it's in quarters.
Okay.
These guys would make it a joke.
Get those tweezers out.
Yeah.
I mean, I could fit 10 hundreds, but like quarters?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Quarters.
These were like, they started pulling out 20s. That's what they said. Can you imagine?
They're tied together like the magician's thing, like a handkerchief.
Oh, this is going to be a light show.
Sonia, are you ready? Have a song?
Not yet.
Okay, so I can share.
Hey, you upstairs?
To leave your best friend in a cage in some kennel? Turn to Rover.
Yeah,
Rover is
downstairs
your
in
one-stop
the
shop for
glass
loving,
or
trustworthy
lobby.
dog
Yeah.
sitters near you. It's a free online service
that's
that
why
connects you with a
that's what I'm
nationwide
calling.
network of dog lovers for hire.
Just
go
come
to
out, but I'm getting ready to run a show while
In seconds,
we
you'll be
get a show
browsing dog
started.
sitters in
Just
your
come
neighborhood.
upstairs,
Search by travel
and there's
dates or
some
zip codes.
seats.
Read reviews,
There's a
see
conference room,
photos,
there's a
and
break
find the
room,
perfect
any
sitter
place
for your
up there.
pet.
I'll be
Rover
out in about, give me about 5 more minutes, 5 or 10 minutes.
Public
5
speech
minutes.
is behind
I'm gonna come over around the corner and
Every
meet
stay
you.
is covered by premium insurance.
Yeah.
And
It's
24/7
crazy.
It's so hot.
Now
I
that's
know.
peace of mind.
It's really been hot
Come
and
on
it's
over
And then
humid.
you're going to coal areas
right
too,
now
so
and
there's
get
like
your
Yeah, we're going to
first
well.
night
Yep,
free.
and then,
That's a $25
we
value.
got
about
here
1 minute left.
Thursday.
I'll let them know about 1
Thursday.
minute.
To rely on
Thursday
Rover.
body has
Yes.
to-
Yep.
It's
And
your
easy
body
when
has
your
to get
first
into
night is
that
free.
The,
To come on
temperature
over to
change,
rover.com.
which is kind of hard
Come
because
on
here it's
over
hot.
to
But if you've been here,
See,
you gotta
we're gonna have to also arrange it
So when you
where
go
we
to
can
San
do
Diego or
website.
Airlines,
Just like we
and
did
then
for
you come
these
here,
current
your
web.com
body goes
customers,
to
we've looked at other
and then you're going
website
to New York.
designers. There's nobody better than web.com.
Web.com
New
can
York
build
City.
your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on
I'm trying
all
to
the
think
major
if I
search
should
engines.
have
If after
films
30 days
with-
you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and
Oh,
maintenance.
so the camera
all for
gets-
one
Well,
monthly
not the
fee.
camera,
If
but
not, cancel and
the
pay
audio
nothing.
waves
You're
might
in
kind of
business
connect, because that mic is close to your mic.
So I can do this.
taken
You go
seriously.
scoot over that way?
Right now,
I know
you'll
what this is
also
in
get a
here.
free
Yeah.
.com or .net domain
How's
name
it
for your
look
new
like?
website, powered by VeriSign, the world's
You can see
leading
both of them on
domain
video.
provider.
This
No
free
charge for
doesn't
cycle.
mean that which ones like fees apply. Rights to sign or relinquish when
Oh.
canceled. Domain included during active
Yeah,
service.
feel free to talk about anything you guys want to talk about because this is, showcasing you guys.
We'll get it, we'll get it.
We want people, hopefully,
Kyle, what is your title again?
My title?
Comedian.
Yes, sir. I don't know.
Sir.
No. Your Highness. No, I'm just,
Yep,
I'm a
hit
comedian.
play on
He's a
Jeff.
human.
I'm a comedian.
Alright, stand by,
He's a
y'all.
human.
Esquire and
About to go on the air.
And
Your next step
Comedian.
is that bad boy, as soon as that
You're
song.
an alien comedian.
Coming up, George.
Okay.
The only show about Latinos for Latinos. And did we mention Latinos?
The next thing is, get
Some of
ready
it you
to
can hear.
Flavors, shapes, and sizes. You don't have to be Latino to
Maybe
enjoy
the
chips and salsa.
hype them up. Turn it down.
Welcome to the Chips and Salsa Show. This is ALice Lara here, another Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. with my co-host, the Alacran,
El Alacran. Jorge.
Don Jorge
That
Ortiz.
deplorable one that Hillary likes to call deplorable.
Very deplorable. And you got your wonderful, beautiful hat on.
Yeah.
Make America Great. By the way, you might be checking us out on Facebook, and we love that. That's Chips, Letter, and Salsa Show. You're also probably listening to us on CentralCityRadio.com, King FM, and we have a
YouTube.
wonderful show. And yeah, that's right, YouTube. That's right. You brought the YouTube back.
Yep, we're on YouTube live. Go to Sonia Salsa S. Or Sonia Salsa S, because if you're on YouTube, you already did that. But on Facebook, you go to Sonia Salsa S.
You'll find us somehow.
You'll
Yeah.
find us. We're all over the net.
And please share, because we're still spreading the news about the Chips and Salsa Show. If this is the first time you've ever listened to the show, what we are both Latinos, obviously, and we are Republican conservatives. We are unashamedly conservative. You know, we do support our president, and we talk about politics, but it's not always just about politics. Culture, headlines, pop culture.
My nephew called me a buffoon.
Oh, you're a buffoon now?
Yep, he's from,
Oh,
I
disrespect.
guess he's in California, and I was saying about Sheriff Joe Arpaio had gotten the pardon. He says, my uncle is a buffoon, and, he's an immigrant himself, and he likes a sheriff that hates immigrants. So I defriend him on Facebook.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Hang
Hey,
up.
we got a terrific show. Julian, if you want to do that little surprise later, you can. What do you want to tell me? Are you ready or not? We'll not do it? Okay, we'll save that, but we have a surprise coming up. It's a special song by our good buddy Ruben Obed El Mejor, and he has written a song called the Texas Hope Song, Here We Are. So we're going to get that ready and play that for you. And kind of along text and lines as well, we have a wonderful guest in studio. I found out about this. Oh, you ready? Okay, good. We're going to be going to him in a few minutes, and that's Steve Trevino. He's here in the Phoenix area. He's going to play the Tempe Improv, and he brought in another comedian, Kyle, we'll be talking to as well. And this is kind of in tribute to the fact that you're here, Steve. Welcome so much.
Thanks
coming
for
in.
having me.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
And we're going to play this song for you right now. This is the Texas Hope Song, Here We Are, by Ruben Obed.
Okay, then you can pot it up a little bit. No. Yeah, turn that one down. Turn that one down, and then we'll turn this one up.
Face facing the stormy weather, knowing times will get better, even if the winds have pushed us back.
You know, I recorded in real time, so I was really able to hear it, how it was sounding. It was recorded.
Even if the pace is slow now, we will only get up stronger.
It sounds corny.
No, it's a nice song.
The cowboys that we are.
Well, let's go ahead.
It's choppy. I go ahead and start cutting. Jump out of there.
We're gonna. Really, it's a nice song. Unfortunately, we're sorry about the audio. You know, I probably should have just played it from my phone. It was nice. That's technology for you. So, you know, really, Ruben has a beautiful voice. It doesn't sound like that. But let's go ahead and get the show started. Steve, welcome so much. We appreciate you taking time to come here and visit us today.
Thanks for having me. We last week was a very stressful week for me.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up very near Corpus Christi, Texas.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Portland, Texas is where I grew up, and I mean, we got hit directly with the hurricane, and you know, fortunately for me, everybody left except my dad.
Oh
and my dad goes, I'm gonna stay. I go, Dad. I go, what? He goes, it's only a Category 4. It's not even a 10. I go, Dad. I go, it doesn't go to 10. It's a 9, dude. It goes to 5. So he stayed, and he told me, he goes, I have a truck, a flashlight, and I put the boat on the roof. I go, you did what? He goes, that way if the water gets too high, I float away. I'm like,
he's a thinker.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's a thinker.
So thank God everybody's okay and everybody's safe. And then, you know, we were fortunate to not get as much damage. You know, very near us is Aransas Pass, Rockport, Texas. They got annihilated. You know, Port Aransas, Texas, annihilated. And there's that little pocket of Portland and Corpus that didn't get hit where I'm from. So they all are helping their community, you know, Aransas. Now, so since we're okay, everybody went off and helped other people. So it was a pretty stressful week for me last week.
I tell you what, Steve, and all the people that have been pulling together, it's amazing. You know, I have my little Texas pin on today because my dad was actually born in Texas, in Smeltertown, Texas, by El Paso. But the community has really come together and pulled it together as far as you see people out there. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Oh no,
or where
Texas
you come
is
from.
their own country. You know, I mean, everybody got together. Everybody started helping each other out, and I mean, it was almost like everybody. You know, even you take my father for example. I go, hey, I'll be there to help you, and he goes, don't help me. You know, he goes, go help Aransas, go help Rockport, go help. He goes, we're fine, we'll be okay. Our homes are still here. I mean, some people got completely devastated. I mean, their homes are gone. So it is really nice to see the country come together. Well, Texas, my country, come together and help each other out and look out for each other. You know,
it's been really beautiful to watch that, and just, you know, that's America, really.
Oh yeah,
that's
100%.
what America's about. And I know that you said that you're okay, like, with talking politics too, so I might get into that a little bit. But I want to tell the audience a little bit about you, for those of you who don't know. The way I found out about Steve Trevino is I was watching TV and I'm checking out, you know, I like to DVR stuff because I hate to watch commercials. And I'm like, I kept seeing this name pop up, Steve Trevino. And I thought it was Trevino, because, you know, I just know Lee Trevino from Texas, right?
Trevino, yeah.
But it's Steve Trevino. He's got the tilde on his end.
Oh, so does Lee.
Yeah, so does Lee. But they always say Trevino, so they've been mispronouncing it.
It's, you know, you get to the point where you're just like, okay,
whatever.
You're going to screw it up anyway.
Whatever. So I said, oh, you know, I'm going to just record this guy and see what this is all about. And Matt, he is so funny because, you know, you get the Latino, the Mexican culture. It is right there. It is right there, from your wife, Captain Evil, to the family and things like the bike. The one is the bike.
But you know, and what's interesting is I am Mexican American, and you know, Kyle and I talk about this all the time, where I want to represent the Mexican Americans in a different way than your typical Latino comedian. You know, when you watch my show, it is not, well, Mexicans this, white people this, Mexicans this, white people this. That's not what I do. I mean, it is my true life story, and you know, I am Mexican American, so the culture comes through. So I struggle with that. It's how do you I want to celebrate my culture as opposed to making fun of it.
You do a terrific job because it's enjoyable and it's funny, And if you've never heard of Steve before, I want you to stay tuned. And if you've got to run or something, you have something else to go, listen to our podcast when it does. And you can still catch a show. We're going to go to the 7 o'clock show tonight at the Tempe Improv.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing
It's
you
going
guys
to be
there.
great, yeah. I think you still have a show Sunday, too.
Yeah, one more Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday?
One more Sunday.
Awesome. So
I always look at Kyle.
For the ones that can't make it today,
Oh,
you can come and see him on Sunday at the Improv.
Yes.
At the Tempe Improv.
Just call and get tickets. I'm going to pick mine up at the box office. So I just want to here's a little bio. Steve Trevino is fast becoming one of the country's hottest comics and the new voice for the 21st century Mexican-American. Mexican-Americans. George is Puerto Rican. I'm Mexican. Finding his way from a Hispanic upbringing in a small South Texas town to living his dream in Hollywood has infused Trevino's comedy with a Tex-Mex sensibility. Yet as a performer, he has a uniquely American voice that transcends anything about ethnicity, making him universally relatable. I think you have a special, don't you, Relatable?
Special called Relatable, yep,
And
on
funny.
Netflix.
Very funny. Outside of being a national headliner, Trevino has made, and that's George giving us some sound effects, Trevino has made memorable appearances on The Late Late Show, Comics Unleashed, Bet Comic View, among others. He also wrote on Mind of Mencia. I haven't seen Mencia for a long time.
Years. Yeah, he disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah. And produced and wrote on rapper Pitbull's La Esquina. Trevino landed in the Nielsen Top 20 with his first Showtime comedy special, Grandpa Joe's Son. His second special, Relatable, hit Netflix January 13th. And so you're in for a treat. Okay, so I got stuff to ask you about.
No, things have been good. But also, it's funny because sometimes people go, what does Tex-Mex mean? What do you mean your Tex-Mex sensibility?
A lot of jokes about flour tortillas.
Yeah. Enchiladas.
Yeah. Well, but no, because it's being Tex-Mex, it's a different kind of attitude. I mean, growing up in Texas, you're a Texan. You're nothing else. And I think that was proof this weekend, and even on now with the disaster, that we're just Texans. It's not black, it's not white, it's not Latino. It's if you're a Texan, you're a Texan. So
that seems to always come first. You're right. My dad, who was, even though it's like the part of El Paso, he spoke with a Spanish accent, a Mexican accent, but he had a little flair in there, a little twinge of still talk like this a little bit.
Right.
If you can imagine that, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, well, Kyle goes down there and he's like, "Is this real? Do people really talk like this?" It's like, yeah, it's real.
It's really very different. So what I want to ask you about, I was telling you, you got 1 minute. Oh man, see, it goes really fast. We want to talk about Kathy Griffin, who's really not sorry, we think. And we want to talk about recently the comedians that passed away. They're older comedians, but see if they've influenced you as well. And Joe Piscopo, who's defending, does not want the Christopher Columbus statue taken down in New York. Evidently the mayor does. And anything else that you want to bring to talk to us about, we're all open, right, George?
Sure.
It's all good.
I'm ready for a good laugh.
It's all good.
George is falling asleep, I think.
Yeah.
He's
busy here. He's busy. Wake up, yeah. And we also have the Cocotazos.
Cocotazo Award.
And thank you to Sonia because she's running the camera back here. We're going to talk to Kyle too. The other comedians here has been kind of quiet, but we'll talk to you too.
You guys are having a conversation. You didn't want to interrupt.
I appreciate it.
He was top politeness.
Being polite. That's right.
He's very
He
polite.
doesn't want that chancla flying over across the room.
So stay tuned for more of the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio, King FM.
And
pay attention.
That'll keep them hanging though.
now,
While
we go on to the commercial on the radio, Steve is going to give his commercial about his radio
performances?
for his performances at the past ones and the ones coming up. Steve.
Oh, hey everybody. I am Steve Trevino. I am going to be at the Tempe Improv. 2 shows tonight, 1 show tomorrow with Mr. Kyle Ray.
Hello. 7 o'clock and 9:30 tonight and 7 o'clock tomorrow. Tempe Improv.
And then you guys just came from San Diego, right?
Yeah, we just came from San Diego.
How was that?
It's fun. They're great shows. That's my home club. That's where I started. So.
You said it was sold out, right?
Yeah, we sold out every show. Then tonight looks like it's going to be sold out, which is exciting. It's a big room, so it's cool,
And then you said you went to Irvine. You did a special show in Irvine. They did a special show.
Yeah, there was a police officer friend of mine. One of his fellow officers got hit by a driver on purpose. He was given a ticket, and the driver went out of his way to hit the cop. Ended up in a coma. So we did a show in Irvine, California to raise money for him. So we did really well. We raised about $14,000.
Wow. $14,000. $10,000. That's what you call giving back. Because he's done shows all across the nation or the United States, and he gives a show as a benefit for officers, an officer that got hurt. And, I mean, that's fantastic. Go see him at the Improv here in Tempe. We're going to go see him tonight. Me and Alice, we got tickets. I think it's almost sold out. You can inquire. If not, tomorrow they're going to be at the Improv in Tempe for, I guess, your last show here in Tempe.
Yep,
right?
last show.
And then they're going to New York.
Yeah,
New York City.
Nice. So yeah, a lot of people watch us from all over the country. Joey, have you learned? Georgie's watching?
Oh,
He's watching from
my
Japan.
son is watching from Japan. My son is stationed in Japan.
Oh, God bless you, buddy. Thank you for your service, man. What time is it over there? 16 hours ahead of us.
And he's watching the two great comedians. We're gonna go see him in a little while at the Tempe Improv. And
you can check his website too, because he's got, I think, you're everywhere. Do you ever get to go home?
No, never.
I mean, the last I saw on your...
Home is where I lay my head and where my baby is and where my wife is. That's home.
I saw your Facebook, and then you're driving, and I think Captain Evil is recording you, and he's still driving. He's driving somewhere. Amazing. Just amazing.
so how long do you, when you go on the air, when you
Save it, and we'll
talk about it later.
I do about 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
So you either warm up.
Are you a good comedian?
It's great.
I'm so.
He's so. We'll see. I'll be the judge of that, Jorge. And all our other fans, tune in.
Coming here. There it is. And we're back here with the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm ALice Lara with Jorge Ortiz, the Alacran, el Don Jorge.
Don Jorge.
You know what an alacran is? You don't know how to play Mexican bingo? Scorpion.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant like with a crayon.
With a crayon?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good guess.
That's a good guess, yeah, for
or a
white
food,
guy, yeah.
some
With
kind
a
of a
crayon,
food.
yeah.
Alacran berry,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
I got bit while I was driving one day here in Tempe, and
On the neck?
Yeah, on the freeway, and I was like,
That's not the place to get bit, but
going like that. I pulled over, and it was a brown scorpion, marked scorpion.
God.
it hurts.
It fell on the
I've been
ground.
stung before.
Oh, it hurt all day,
Oh.
and then when I got home, my wife said, "Don't be a wimp." I said, "I just got bit by a scorpion. I think I should go to the doctor." And all my Facebook people are saying, "Yeah, go to see the doctor." The brown, because I had a picture of the scorpion. I said, "That's a marked scorpion." And they go, "Don't be a wimp." So I went to the kitchen. I had a tequila. I got a shot of tequila. I drank some beer. The next morning,
Put the scorpion in the tequila.
the next morning, hey, I should have drank the scorpion. I didn't even think about that. I went the next morning. I woke up. My face was numb from the shoulder down up to here. It lasted for a couple of days, and I kept saying,
He's like
I should have
Spider-Man.
gone to the.
He's like
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
it's radioactive.
Alacran man. Yeah, he's
It's true.
Alacran man.
So,
Alacran.
so I got that blood inside of me.
Oh, buddy.
We're talking to Steve Trevino, who's a comedian, very funny. He's probably right now, you're probably the top Latino comedian that I know. Anyway,
We're doing well. I mean,
Yeah.
things are good. We're selling tickets, and Netflix did a lot for us. And I mean, there's other guys out there like Felipe Esparza, who's really funny, and Cristela Alonso, who had a TV show, and Angela Johnson's doing really well. Of course, Gabriel Iglesias is huge physically, and
is he the fluffy? What do they call
the fluffy, yeah.
Right, yeah. But it's good to see that. I mean, I never understood why we didn't have more TV. Like, we had the George Lopez show. I think you could do a great show.
Well, hopefully, God willing, we're working on it. But it is, that's a great article that if you guys have a chance. John Leguizamo recently said, that we should no longer be quiet about the lack of representation in Hollywood. And he goes, look, we are the biggest minority group outside of white people, and we're underrepresented. And recently there was a song called Despacito, and it's the #1 YouTube video of all time.
Wow.
Billions of hits, and it got snubbed at the MTV Music Awards. Or at the and John Leguizamo came out. He said, well, why? What's the problem? Why are we not? But we do need to speak up. I tell people all the time. It's like, when you're Mexican, you're raised to be satisfied. You're lucky to have a job. Don't speak up. No big deal.
We're not whiners.
Right. And if you go with my, like my mom, for example, she'll order enchiladas. They'll bring her tacos, and she'll go, está bueno. I'll just eat it. And it's like,
it's
no,
okay, mijo.
like,
It's okay, mijo.
Get what you want and what you deserve. So we're working on a TV show, and hopefully Hollywood gets my vision.
That's exciting.
Because I do want to make sure that my TV show is a representation of my generation, and to show educated Latinos. I don't want gardeners, and I mean, look, we are that, but that's not all we are. That's not all we are. And when you watch TV or you watch movies, that's all we are.
That's what you see. You're right.
Is sometimes it's always the right over the border Mexican, and it's like, wait a minute, there's several generations of Mexican Americans in this country. Me, for example, my father's side of the family, we came to Texas when Texas was Spain. So we've been in this country a long, long time, and for us, we need to start sticking up for ourselves. But John Leguizamo put out a really cool article. If you have a chance to check it out.
Oh, we're gonna have to check that out.
I think what's interesting about that is, like, John, I get your point, but you're 50 years old. Why are you watching MTV? Like, why? Who cares?
Right.
I'm 33. I don't know who was on the MTV.
Well,
okay.
Mambo Mouth.
Well, you're 33 years old.
Yeah.
How old are you, Steve?
38.
38. Yeah. You guys are
20-year high school reunion.
You guys are still whippersnappers.
You're not a typical, stereotype. You don't have the sombrero.
Yeah.
You don't have the blanket.
We were talking about that yesterday. You go to the casinos, and even the slot machines are racist.
I know.
Oh, I saw.
You know what I mean? Like the jalapenos. Hey, like they think that I'm gonna walk by and be like, oh, wait a minute, that's the one for me. I better sit down. Like.
Okay, I'm gonna confess, I played that machine.
Oh no, I played it too. Don't get me wrong,
but you're right. It's true. Yeah.
But it's funny.
And that's like kind of what we're doing here too. You don't hardly see any shows by Latinos that talk politics and different things too. So
I like
trying
Taco
to break
Bell.
those barriers. You like Taco Bell?
I like Taco Bell.
I know we do.
I like the Bandito. The Frito Bandito.
The Frito Bandito. See, I don't know. Do you remember the Frito Bandito?
No.
Yeah, I was real little with the Frito Bandito.
And you remember it?
And they used to have that commercial, the Frito Bandito.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's where they go kind of like too far.
Everybody's nuts.
And do that. And it's just like, I was telling the story about where Joe Piscopo, comedian from SNL, and he's speaking up because his generation, his heritage is Italian, and he's really upset because in New York they're thinking about taking down the Christopher Columbus, because it's not just about that. That man's a flawed human being like all of us, but it's more about the history.
Right.
And then I'm afraid, it's going to just keep growing and growing. Do you have a concern there?
Yeah, of course. I mean, what am I? I'm not going to be able to wear this shirt anymore because it's made out of cotton. And I offended somebody, like black people. Oh, that reminds me of slavery.
Yeah, the cotton shirt.
It's a cotton shirt. Take it off. But it's my thing is I don't have the energy or the time to worry about it. I got things to do. I'm working. I'm trying to I have my career. I have a wife. I have a kid. I don't have time to worry about some I don't even remember the last time I thought about a Robert E. Lee statue.
I know.
I haven't even thought about it. And then the only reason I thought about it was because they started taking it down. And I'm like, oh, well, and I don't even care if they took it down or not. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. But now it's everything, take this one down, and this is offensive, and that's offensive, and everybody's offended.
And if your name is Robert E. Lee,
and you're Asian,
you can't even do a commercial.
Did you see that?
Yeah. The guy was Robert Lee.
Robert Lee, the guy was Asian, and they go, okay, we're not going to put you on the air because we're afraid.
Your name.
Unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. Well, how do you think, is that going to translate into comedy? Because that will make it hard to do your comedy. You're going to have to start being careful politically.
Well, no, not me.
I mean, you are.
I'm always going to talk about what I want to talk about. And on stage, I keep it very family, very, my topics are my wife, my kids, but you still know who I am. I'm a Texas boy. I grew up in Texas. I'm country. I'm very clear of who I am, and I know who I am. So I think that comes across on stage when people see me perform. They go, "Oh, I know who he is." And at the end of my shows, I always give it up for the veterans. We always make sure to give it up for the veterans, and lately I've been giving it up for the first responders. Our police officers, our firemen, our ambulance drivers, our teachers. All these people who are civil servants. I give it up to these people because.
What did your dad say and your mom when they go see one of your shows? Do they want to throw a chancla at you?
Oh no, my dad barely goes. Good luck getting my dad there. My dad's like, go see you. I see you my whole life. I want to go see you, right? My mom, on the other hand, my mom's Mrs. I'm his mother. You know?
Mijo,
Yeah, that's my
mijo.
son. You know. She's like, they made me wait in line. I'm like,
I
well,
should have VIP status.
Oh yeah, Dora's the star of the
Yeah,
show.
Dora, my mom's the star of the show. But it's,
That would be cute to see your mom at the show.
but
I can imagine.
you know, you have to realize that when I started stand-up in the year 2000, okay? When I started stand-up, there wasn't one Latino who was famous. Comedian.
That's true.
Not one.
You're right.
George Lopez didn't get his TV show until, I think, 03 or 04. But for me to do this and go, oh, I can make it, nobody had made it. You know, Paul Rodriguez was doing it, but he wasn't huge.
Yeah.
I would say the only mega Mexican-American comedian that we have is George Lopez.
Yep, George Lopez.
I think you're right.
Exactly.
You know,
So, what got you into comedy? Why did you decide, you know what, I'm going to just devote my life and do
always
this?
wanted to do it. Always wanted to tell jokes, and I think ignorance is bliss, right? You don't know any better. You go, I'm just going to do it. You know, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do stand up, and I didn't know that the odds were stacked up against me. I didn't look at it and go, wait a minute, nobody's famous. In the history of HBO, only 3 Latinos have had HBO specials. In the history of HBO.
That's sad.
You know, we can talk about blacks for days. We can talk about the whites for days. Mexican Americans, 3. George Lopez, Paul Rodriguez, and Carlos Mencia. And Carlos Mencia is Honduran.
I thought Geraldo was going to be a comedian when he went after that grave, Hoffa's grave. I thought that was all comic, but
it was real.
Then he got serious and became a news announcer. But anyway,
Geraldo, yeah.
He can be
But no,
Geraldo.
so you know, it's when I started stand up. I mean, the odds were stacked against me, and you sit there and you go, well, maybe it's going to change. Well, here we are 20 years later. It hasn't changed much.
Are you better received, though, now? Is it a little easier for you at all?
Just because I'm me, you know, because of if people are starting to get on board with what I do, you know.
And you're more well known.
Yeah, I mean, look, my audience is everything. Black, white, Asian, you know, Latino, it's everybody. You know?
And it truly can be enjoyed by any, because the humor that you do can be appreciated by all.
It's my life.
You know, you're married or whatever,
It's my
kids,
life.
a kid, everything.
It's how much I hate my wife. Who can't relate with that?
well, you don't have her start your car for you, right?
No, I don't have to do that.
No, but because Sheriff Joe said so many people were after him, he had his wife started.
Oh, did he say get out? Well,
well,
I'm not 85. I can get to the car a lot
No,
quicker
no.
than Joe.
Maybe
can.
after this
No,
show,
he thought-
George, I don't
He
know.
thought maybe because of
Someone will
blowing up, you know.
blow up.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, but
I
don't
see
go
where
away
you're going,
because
yeah.
we are going to have more with Steve Trevino, comedian, and Kyle Ray. I'm ALice Lara with George Ortiz here on the Chips and Salsa Show, Central City Radio, King FM.
So tune in.
How's the show doing?
You know, we are finally gaining some momentum. What's helped us a lot is doing the Facebook Live, because we reach more people.
Right.
And a lot of it is, you know, we all have jobs. This is kind of still a hobby. We're not really making money, but we're trying. We do have little
That's how many
sponsors.
live views we have.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And how
you get
many
to-
people have engaged with one?
Yeah, sure.
George, my business partner over here, Brooke, she also works security at the stadium.
Oh, really?
Brooke, this is George. Everybody, this is Brooke.
I've probably seen her at the stadium.
You all good, Jim? As far as I know, at least until we get to this Fox News Radio or whatever.
Okay.
So we
Sound like you're doing good then.
one more segment.
Is the store on lockdown today?
It should be open.
Okay, my mom should be here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm about to head out anyway, so I'll make sure it is. I'm gonna get the big head kids. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
We
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to make use of this. We want to advertise. Andy Zhang is doing a
Yeah. You do me a favor, the
signature.
top
Yeah,
shelf,
signature.
top drawer, I mean, my business cards in there. You should be able to
This is
see
all
those.
live Facebook, all
Grab a
live
couple of
stuff.
those.
But
Like
Andy
5
Zane
of
is
them.
gathering petitions. We have that on our
Yeah,
Facebook
absolutely. That'll
page.
work.
So please visit and support him. What he's doing is trying to save the Phoenix Chinese Cultural Center. Also, we got this going on.
Which is,
Thank you, Jim.
which is our Central Women's Republic,
Thank you for stopping
Central
by, guys.
Republican Women's of Phoenix is having a brunch September the 9th, and Jeff DeWitt is going to be our keynote speaker. You still have a chance to get tickets. There are many tickets available still, so contact Jan Webb.
Yes. And as you know, there's, you know, like a little bit of rumor going about Jeff DeWitt. Jeff DeWitt is the Arizona State Treasurer. And right now, we're going to have some Arizona U.S. Senators. We have one that's coming up next election, 2018, that's Jeff Flake. And so there's some rumors, some speculation that he might be running as well.
Against Kelly Ward and Jeff Flake or Robert Graham as another one that's been
bantied around, huh?
And you'll hear more about that in the future. I know some secrets, but I can't tell you that. My lips are sealed.
No, the secrets that you... Oh, you know what? I'm going to try, Jim, let's see if I can come back with this. I'm going to try to play this Texas song just straight from my
I might wake
phone.
up with the Scorpions if I...
I mean, go ahead and come back in if you want. It's all good. I want to do the Cocotazos in this segment, because we can have fun with it with Steve.
How many minutes do we have before we go?
We have 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, I won't say much.
You're crying about one scorpion thing.
Scorpion King? What about it?
You're crying about this one scorpion thing.
Well, you got 4 scorpions. 5 scorpions.
Dion got bit too.
She got bit 5 times by scorpions. 6 times.
You're the Scorpion Queen.
She's the Scorpion Queen, but we don't say that because she's secret Sonia.
And that is the smartest thing. I just love that rejoiner. It's always good. And you are listening to the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio, King FM. We have in studio with us comedian Steve Trevino from East Texas. He's gracing us with his presence. South Texas. From the South. Okay,
That's right.
Sorry about that. And also Kyle Ray, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I want to play just a little bit of this song. We had really bad audio, so I think I could just play it and can hear it right now. Ruben Obed, the Texas Hope song. Here we are. And Ruben Obed is from Puerto Rico. Lives there, but he writes a lot of songs. He's a big Trump supporter and has a beautiful voice too. So we're just going to play a little bit for you.
Facing the stormy weather, knowing times will get better. Even if the winds have pushed us back, we stand up as we are. And even if the pace is slow now, we will only get up stronger, showing the resilient nature of the cowboys that we are. No weapon forged against us shall prosper. The heart of Texas is beating much stronger. And in the darkest hour, the light of unity is glowing. And as one, we have the power. So here we are.
Anyway, that's just a little taste of that song.
Oh, very good, beautiful voice.
Isn't that nice? Yeah, he's got a great voice. He's actually Ruben Obed Martinez, I think is his name. He goes by Ruben Obed.
Are you laughing?
Yeah. We got. What's the secret? What's the secret?
Oh, it's like an inside joke. It's my mom does this to me all the time. She'll me and my brother will laugh about something, and she'll be like, "Oh, what's funny?" And I'm like, "Dude, for the time, for the effort it would take for me to explain everything and catch you up with all this, like it won't even be worth it."
It's not even going to be funny.
We were laughing in the car the other day about something that was like that.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Are you Spanish or you don't have no Spanish in you?
No.
Oh, okay. So you've never been hit with a chancla?
Oh no, I've been hit. Yeah.
What did they hit you with?
The wooden spoon was the threat we always got. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Jim can relate to that too.
Jim, wooden spoon. Yeah.
Wooden spoon. We got it.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got to do the Cocotazos, George. This is our last segment.
Hey, might as well do the cocotazo.
We got to, let's do them really quick, George. Shall we go with your favorite first?
Yes.
Okay, we had a cop who actually went and handcuffed a nurse, and he did it forcibly. You can watch it on Facebook. And what happened was there was an accident, and the cops needed a blood sample. But she couldn't do it because the hospital said, no, the guy's unconscious, he can't do it. He drug her out on handcuffs. The cocotazo there, right, George?
Cocotazo, because, it was uncalled for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that. He didn't have a warrant.
Yeah.
He goes, no, but the guy didn't say no. Yeah, but he didn't say yes either. He's unconscious.
I disagree. I think the cop should have, put her in the back of the car and, not put his hand there, let her hit her head on the door jamb, everything, dude.
Just go for it, right?
Yeah.
At that point?
You are mean. Oh, man.
Put Trump on that one.
Yeah. Then we had the clown-looking woman, and she was all upset because Melania wore
We're talking about
heels.
Kathy Griffin already?
Well, that's another one. Yeah, Kathy Griffin's not sorry. But this lady, if you see her face, she looks like a clown woman, and she was really upset that Melania wore heels to Texas. And then we CNN fake news. George, you like that one, right?
Flooded, man. I'd be wearing heels too.
Yeah. Yes, really high ones, right? The stilettos.
Stilts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reporter went and supposed to have rescued a guy in a truck. The reporter had shorts on, but when they filmed it, he had pants on. So it was all staged. And
No, he's like, no, I saved him. Then I put the pants on.
Then I put the pants on.
Because I was wet.
There's always that. I remember there was one where they were like, oh, the floodwaters are crazy. There was a reporter, they're standing up to their thighs in water, and then behind them, you see somebody just like walking normally. They just wanted to make a dramatic video.
Right there in a puddle.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, my friend.
Just on their knees.
We filmed BET's Comic View together, and they spend the whole day filming these things. So then they film the audience, right, to get audience reaction, and then they'll edit the audience into whatever comedian you're watching. Well, they edited my friend watching himself.
Oh man! You know what? That might beat the cocotazo of all.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that in my own special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use that.
This guy's great.
Yeah.
It's the best ever.
Wear disguises.
Chelsea Peretti did something like that. She would cut to the audience and there would be people just like texting and stuff like that. She always got to just people doing
Weird stuff.
Yeah, like a couple was making out like vigorously.
That's funny. So George, you want to pick the cocotazo or Steve? Which is your best story? Which is the one you think deserves it the most?
Well, I think that cop that wanted to take the blood.
I would have to say that too. I have a lot of cop friends, and I always tell them, guys, it's getting hard to defend you.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Stop doing dumb stuff.
And that was dumb.
That's really dumb. Look, man, I'm more of a libertarian than anything, and it's like, hey, follow our rights. There's a Bill of Rights that was written, and we should be following our Bill of Rights. And when you start taking rights away, is when things start getting really bad.
And it's not going to change it that much if they don't get that blood from that person.
Right. And the blood's the same. They're going to get it again.
Well, I don't know. I think give the passed out person time for the blood alcohol level to go down.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. Yeah.
And that's probably what the cop was after.
Yeah,
for sure.
To go against either way.
But now with social media, it's like be careful what you do.
Exactly.
People are watching. People got a camera up, ready to go. Like that. What was that one cop that he forgot to take his body camera off?
Oh yeah, and he's planning the drugs.
Yeah, he's planning the drugs. Like, come on, dude.
That was one of our cocotazos, I think, too. Yeah.
Look, man, I always support the boys in blue, but
absolutely.
It's like, God, guys, don't do that.
I don't have a problem with them planning drugs. I just think he should be smart. I want my cops smart enough to at least know that their camera's on, guys.
That's true.
And don't plan heroin on a fat guy.
Right? Not good. Not smart. Man. Okay, so you got the cocotazo. Right on.
Yeah.
If you have a cocotazo and you think we missed it, please contact us through Facebook and send it to us. We'd be happy to highlight it. There's a gross one. We're not going to highlight it, but you can look, and it involves a man and his butt. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe that's not enough.
Dirty money.
Dirty money. Dirty money. That's
literally dirty money, yeah.
It was all quarters.
Yeah.
In all quarters.
Silver dollars.
Silver dollars.
And
Not
hopefully
silver
no
anymore.
diamonds,
Yeah.
Whoa. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
All right, so if somebody wants to follow you, you've got a wonderful Facebook. You've got about 1 million people that are following you.
At Mr. Steve Trevino on Twitter, Texas Trevino on Instagram, and then just Steve Trevino on Facebook. So.
Right on.
And Kyle?
I'm at the Kyle Ray on Instagram and Twitter, and right now everything's going on with Hurricane Harvey, but right now my hometown is currently on fire, and I've been looking on. What's that?
You from Wyoming?
No, it's in
Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles
LA.
on fire, and it's been great on social media to see all the people in LA, really come together and take selfies in front of it. So I appreciate all the work they're putting out in there.
Oh.
As a Texan, I'm still waiting for all the people with man buns to come and help us. I'm yet to see a picture of a dude with a man bun saving anybody.
Oh man, I don't like those things. I do not. The only guys that can wear that are the sumo wrestlers because they're big enough to defend.
Oh, they
have a little
wear a
man
man
bun.
bun.
Sumo hair, yeah.
Man bun.
But other stuff.
Well, I think he was talking about man buns.
Nalguitas.
The nalguitas or
My wife
nalgotas.
punches me every time she sees a man bun. Like
She
punch
punches
buggies?
you?
Yeah, she'll hit me.
Yeah, like, I'll punch
My
my
wife abuses me.
My wife
helps
me.
So Steve, hope I can call you Steve.
Of course.
What are you looking forward to? What can you tell us a little preview of your act tonight or anything?
Well, what's interesting is we're working on our next special. So the material you're going to hear tonight is what's going to be on the new special. And we're actually talking to some local people here that we might end up filming our next special right here in Phoenix. So it's exciting.
Oh, very cool.
I'll bring chanclas.
We throw chanclas.
Hey, George Bush did that over there in Kuwait.
They threw a shoe at him.
They threw a shoe at him.
He was fast.
Yeah, he dodged him pretty legit.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I'll be honest.
He should have thrown it back. Texas. Yeah,
he should have thrown it back. Huh?
Yeah, he should have. Hey, Steve, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you out there on the road? Or one of the craziest things, maybe?
There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens. But Kyle, what about me and you? Any crazy ones?
Hold on. Well, I've got to go through the filter.
I mean, we've had hecklers.
Yeah.
You know, we've had people that have to get kicked out. You know, I've had a woman pee herself.
What?
Oh yeah.
She laughed so hard.
Row, she peed herself, and then she couldn't stop laughing. And I go, "You okay?" She goes, "No, I just peed myself." And when she stood up, her whole butt was wet, and the audience went crazy. So
now you're funny.
Somebody had a seizure during
your set.
Yeah, my set. And then didn't somebody have like a heart attack the next day?
Yeah.
I don't
what
think
does
that's
that
my
say
fault.
about your
Listen,
con-
Cleveland's not healthy.
It was that joke that made me do it.
I like when comics are like, "Yeah, it made a guy have a seizure." You're not that funny.
Yeah.
The guy had seizures.
No, his concussion from high school football is why he had a seizure.
Wow. We're down to our last minute. This has been so awesome, you guys.
Well, thanks for having me, and I can't wait to
us.
see you guys tonight. We'll take some pictures.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. We look forward to it.
Make sure you
so
text
much.
me when you get there. That would take care of you guys.
Okay, super. Yeah, we're going to go and eat there and do all the good
I'll
stuff.
represent the press.
Yeah, it's
I'll
got
be
his press
reporting
badge. Good.
for all of you.
Alacran reporting live.
Alacran reporting live.
Reporting live.
I see no scorpions here. A lot of chanclas are flying from the audience.
Kyle Ray and Steve Trevino, that's tonight and Sunday also. They're doing shows at the Tempe Improv. If you don't have tickets, you might be able to eke out a few. Go ahead and try. Just give them a call and do that. We're going to be there.
Or you can sneak in.
Yeah, you can sneak in. That's true.
Yeah.
Good too. Yeah, why not? Steve, when you come back, Kyle, will you guys please come visit again?
No, sure. We'd love to see you guys again. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We appreciate
I'll
it.
have a whole list of jokes to give you guys.
You're going to be a joke writer?
I'll be a joke writer.
I think they have enough scorpion jokes. I think they're okay with it.
I'll bring some Puerto Rican jokes.
Chocolate jokes.
Thanks again.
Some flaco
and we'll
jokes.
be with you. Stay tuned for the rest of the Chips and Salsa show here on Central City Radio, King FM.
Oh, that's the KKK thing. Huh?
That's a yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, they said that's
We'll see you guys
the
tonight.
KKK.
We'll see you tonight.
Man, they're taking everything.
We'll see you tonight.
I know. You can't
Okay,
even go like
sign,
that.
tiki torches. Can't have anything without this KKK.
Anyway, don't forget Andy Zhang is collecting signatures to help the Chinese Cultural Center. So go to his website, go to our website, and look at Andy Zhang. Also, I wanted to say a few words on Labor Day. It says we commemorate. Oh no, we don't have that much time. I'll say it during the program.
Yeah, you have 2.5 minutes on Facebook.
Oh, we have 2 minutes? Okay. This one, it says, on Labor Day, we commemorate the birth of the American labor movement and all that the American worker has accomplished to grow our economy and spur innovation around the world. Unfortunately, too many Americans today are working under antiquated labor laws from the 1930s that deprive employees of basic decisions and subject them to coercion by unions. Today, unions collect dues from their members' paychecks and after use them for political causes, even if their members don't agree. I mean, you're tied down. You pay your dues, and it goes to causes you don't support. Most unions never have to face a recertification vote, allowing employees to decide whether to keep their union representation. In fact, 90% of unionized workers never voted on whether to join the union in the first place. And when votes do happen, members often face intimidation tactics in the workplace. This Labor Day, we can support American workers by backing policies that would allow them to choose whether to join a union and make sure that these unions are accountable for actually serving. Have a great Labor Day. This is going to be a great Labor Day. Tomorrow's a day of prayer for everybody that the president has announced for the victims in Texas. And looks like we're ready to go on the air again. So this has been my infomercial for you.
All right. How are we doing? A minute?
About 50 seconds.
Okay. All right, Dexter, we're going to bring you on here.
If you have to, you can move the chair closer if it's not.
Did we get everything? I think we got everything, George.
Okay, we're going to go into the one truth.
You want to do one truth? Let's do that on the Can we do it on
He said
Facebook?
at the end of the segment,
Yeah.
just let him know before he'll give you 2 minutes, and then she'll stop and she'll Well, she'll get 1 minute, and then the last minute you can introduce him.
So give us a 2-minute warning, and then we'll do the one truth.
Okay.
And we'll close out the show with it.
He knows how to do it.
Julie, tell him how to do it.
So you'll close
10
out the show.
seconds.
Vámonos.
Eso, yeah. So
Hey.
take it away.
Hey, I want to introduce the Divine Dion has walked
She's
into
in
the
the house.
studio. She works, so now she's coming out. She's going to go with us to the Improv to watch Jesse.
No, not Jesse. Steve Trevino.
Oh, I just changed his name.
By the way, I'm glad you said that, though, because Jesse Romero was supposed to join us tonight, but he had company come in, so he couldn't be with us, but I'm sure he'll come with us another Saturday. But we have another Catholic with us. Our special guest is Dexter Dugan. He is a reporter for The Wanderer. And Dexter, welcome to the show, back to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We appreciate you coming back in. Now, I am Catholic also, and George, you're Catholic too, right? You're still claiming to be Catholic?
Simone.
Right. And
Yes.
we're kind of switching gears. You know, we just talked to Steve Trevino. But Dexter, and we're probably going to have you come back and do a longer segment here with the show. I'm just going to move this mic a little bit, George, so I can see Dexter. Great. All right. You have just such a fascinating past, but one of the things that we wanted to talk about, it is the 150th anniversary of The Wanderer, right?
Correct. Next month in October, the Wanderer will be 150 years old. Not many newspapers in America can say they go back that long. They were founded in the upper Midwest for German immigrants and was printed in German at first to acculturate them, get them used to this new nation. After a while, they added an English language edition also. Someone once asked me if I speak German. No, not at all. We're printed only in English and have been for a number of decades now, circulating nationally. Of course, being on the internet, anyone, any time of the day can see something. Like occasionally, I'll post something of mine to the Wanderer's website at 3 a.m., and within a few minutes, it's had 2 or 3 hits already. So not in America probably during that hour, but somewhere overseas. So we do go all the way across the nation. One of the maybe signal honors the Wanderer received was it was still putting out a German edition back when Adolf Hitler was in power. And so Hitler did it as the honor of saying, "Stay out of my country.
Oh.
No Wanderer coming into Germany, please." And so he banned us, much to our honor. And
Sure.
He didn't survive, and we did. So here we are now.
There you go.
That's a terrific story. And that's, of course, a Catholic publication. How long have you been working there?
I first wrote for The Wanderer in 1978. There was an abortionist on trial for strangling a baby girl in Orange County, California. So I wrote that story for 2 years. The court proceedings, I would sum up the court proceedings in a weekly story, so that might run anywhere between 10 and 18 pages, double-spaced, which in those pre-internet days, I would have to mail off to the paper on Sunday night, and they always got it, thanks to the Postal Service, they always got it on time. So when they went to press on Thursday evening, they had it ready to go. For our
Yeah,
visual,
show that to the
For our
Facebook.
visual followers, I'll show you a Wanderer copy right here. And the headline is, for our non-visual followers, at the Waddell trial, defense attorney says abortion needed for population control. This was a full-size paper back in those days. Now it's tabloid.
What year?
This is this particular issue is May 4th, 1978.
So that's when, I mean, the Roe versus Wade, what, 73? So this is only 5 years later.
73. I also wrote for some other agencies. Here's the National Catholic Register from April 30th, 1978. And the lead story there is abortionist trial ends dramatically.
Wow.
So California did have a more permissive abortion law before Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade simply made the law more permissive. In this particular case, an 18-year-old teenager had gone to Dr. Waddell because she didn't think it was the right time to be pregnant. Turned out her baby was about 7.5 months old along at that time. And they used the common abortion method then called saline abortion, which finally was given up because it had too many survivals. So baby Weaver was taken to the newborn nursery by the nurses because of her vital signs, and they phoned Dr. Waddell to say, there's a viable baby here, which means something, not a gasping, dying baby, but a viable baby. And Dr. Waddell's response, before asking anything about her condition, His immediate response was, "Don't do a goddamn thing for that baby. Leave the baby the hell alone." Good medical technology at work, you see. So he came over, told the nurses to get out of the nursery where they wanted to give the baby aid. Later on at trial, the prosecutor, Robert Chatterton, when he had Dr. Waddell on the stand, said, "Well, doctor, you didn't ask anything about that baby's condition before you pronounced her not to be helped at all. You know, did you ask about her respirations? Did you ask about her heartbeat? Did you ask about her skin tone? Did you ask about her muscular response? Did you ask about the APGAR score, which indicates what the survival likelihood is for the baby?" No, every time, no. "Well, Dr. Waddell, how could you reach your judgment before you've ever seen the baby then to deny her care?" He said, "A saline abortion is such a horrible, destructive process." This is something the media never want to talk about. But saline abortion is such a horrible, destructive process, he could not conceive how the baby could have survived.
I'm going to interrupt you for just 1 second, because about the 10th grade, which is in this time period, Planned Parenthood came to, of all things, a child development class. I know I've talked about this a lot before. And they were talking about the saline method. And of course they said, "Oh, this is just so peaceful, and with the, fetus and everything." They wouldn't call it a baby either. So I just wanted to interject that.
What saline abortion involves is taking out amniotic fluid, which is the natural protective surrounding around the baby, and replacing it with caustic saline, high concentration saline, to burn the baby. And so the baby will take that inside and be burned inside, and then have this around the exterior of the skin too. Why saline abortion will fail is if the baby is larger, the skin is less permeable, the baby will be more resistant to the saline. And when you do have a baby that's just a premature baby, in fact, it has a greater likelihood to survive. Anyway, Dr. Waddell tells the court, "I just could not conceive of a baby surviving abortion, saline abortion." One morning, the prosecution called us reporters over and said, "We've been contacted from around the nation by people telling us it's not rare to have a saline abortion survival." So the prosecution brought 2 babies into the courtroom who had survived, not way off in New York City, not in London. They didn't have to bring them 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles. There were 2 baby girls who had survived abortion in Southern California within a month of when baby Weaver, who was...
Oh my goodness. We are going to have you back for a full show. We got 1 minute and a half left, and we wanted to do our quick one truth also. So, George, if you want to... thank you, Dexter Dugan, so much, of The Wanderer. We might continue to talk to him a little bit on Facebook afterwards, so please stay tuned if you're watching us on Facebook.
The sponsor for this segment is One Truth. Here's their song, Inferno. That was Inferno. That was Inferno. That was One Truth with Inferno. You can get the song from iTunes, and we'll be back with more of the Chips and Salsa show.
Next week we will, because this is the last segment, George. But please join us. We're so happy. Dexter Dugan, thank you for coming in. Thank you for your patience. We're going to have you back and do the full hour because you have too much to talk about. I'm ALice Lara Jorge Ortiz. Thank you, Sonia. Sonia. Thank you, John. Great job. I'm sorry, I called you John. Jim Bunner. And Dion, we'll see you soon. We're going to head out to Steve Trevino, and hope you have a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and have lots of chips and salsa.
Be safe.
Good night. I can't believe I called you John.
Well, have they found that the saline affects the babies anymore? As they grew up?
Well, what happens, something else I can tell for the next segment is, you know the name Gianni Jesse, the baby abortion survivor?